ZackAttack here with AEW Star Kyle Fletcher, the Protostar. They're at the Fishers Event Center tomorrow night. And it's crazy to get a chance to see you again, man. Saw you last year ahead of Dynamite, and man, a lot has happened in a year for you.
Just a little bit, yeah. Yeah, to say the least.
So let's just talk about the year overall. What's been your biggest takeaway from the last 365 days since the last time we talked?
Oh man, that's so crazy. The biggest takeaway is just kind of how fast everything moves. I think with wrestling, professional wrestling, AEW, it's so like, it's just as soon as one thing's done, it's a couple days later you got something else to focus on, and you got another match to think about. So yeah, everything, it really does feel like it's just been one thing after the other this past year. It's like just that little snowball that just gets pushed down the hill, just keeps rolling, getting bigger and bigger, and it feels like every time there's the biggest match of my career, a couple months later or a month later, whatever it is, it's the next biggest match of my career. It just never stops.
You've had some amazing milestones over the past year. You talk about biggest match of your career. How about last week getting a chance to get in the ring with Okada, and you are one of the few people to pin his shoulders to the mat. How's that feel?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I mean, we have a pretty good relationship now. I think this time, last year with Continental Classic, when I beat him the first time, it was like I'd had very few conversations with the man in general, let alone been in the ring with him. So now being able to be in a faction with him and become friends with him and actually have that like relationship, the vibe for the match was like a lot different to the year prior. But yeah, man, I mean, Okada is literally one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Definitely one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time. So yeah, to be able to be one of the only people to have a pinfall victory over him, it's pretty special.
You mentioned the Continental Classic that's going on right now, and you got another huge match in it tomorrow night. It never stops.
Never stops.
You got the Jack Kevin Knight tomorrow night.
Man, yeah.
What are your thoughts on getting a chance to get in the ring with him?
Dude, I think he is so cool. I think it was an 8-man tag just a couple months ago in Philadelphia. And I think that was the first time I'd ever like gotten in the ring with him. And that was, I could just tell like he's a special talent, man. He's so capable. He's kind of like, it feels like he is in the spot that I was a few years ago. He's just come into AEW. He's a part of a great tag team, Jet Speed, right now. He's doing some great things, and now he's in the Continental Classic, getting able to show like what he's made of on his own, kind of for the first time. Not for the first time, obviously, but like with this amount of eyes on him, and he's been given this awesome opportunity. And if last week's anything to go by, he's gonna take it by the horns and fucking run with it, man. So I'm sure he's coming in pretty excited for this one, and I'm doing the same thing. We're both at the top of the leaderboard, so it's gonna be a good one, I think.
So you mentioned about how he's in the same position you were in a couple of years ago. How does that feel to now be looked at almost as kind of the veteran? You're still very young in your career, still very young, but in terms of being around AEW, you've been around for a little while now.
Totally.
How does that feel now to see like a new crop coming in? They're looking up to you. They're in the same position you were in a few years ago.
Dude, it's a bit of a weird feeling because I really don't feel like that a lot of the time. I feel like there's still, countless people in AEW that I walk around the locker room and I'm looking up to, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm in the locker room with this person and this person and this person. I really don't feel like I'm at that level yet. So to have these people and like you said, I don't want to speak for other people. I don't know if people look at me like that, but to kind of be in roles reverse type thing, it is a bit of a weird feeling, and it's kind of something that I don't want to treat lightly either. It's like I want to show how grateful I am to be in the spot I'm in. I want to prove that I'm worthy of the spot I'm in, and I'm not going to let it slip by.
You know, you talk like you haven't been at the top of AEW for the last year, but you really have been. You're just coming off of a TNT title run.
Yeah.
I know it's a little salty because you just lost it, but you had a great run as TNT champion. How does it feel to be able to have a run like the one you had and add to the prestige of a belt that in AEW carries so much weight?
Yeah, I think I really, when I won that title, I really took it as a, what's the right word for this? I took it as an opportunity, really, more than anything. I the TNT title has been around as long as AEW's been around. I was watching when it got brought out for the first time, unveiled, whatever, watching from home in Australia, and it was like, it felt like this, like it wasn't even in the realm of possibility for me to hold that title. So to finally to win it, to hold it in my hands, it was very surreal, but I also took it as a huge opportunity to show what I could make that title, if that makes sense. Kind of like trying to prove okay, you give me the ball, you give me this title, now it's my turn to show you what I can give back to that title. And like you said, try and add some prestige to it, try and add some excitement to it, try and make whoever the next person that holds it kind of like in a better spot than it was when I got it right, type thing. Leave it better than you found it. So I really took that as a personal goal for myself, and on the other side of it, I'd like to think that I did that a little bit.
I can say from a fan's perspective, it certainly felt like
Cool.
you did.
Yeah, thanks.
And one of the things you did as TNT champion, you main evented a pay-per-view for the first time in a singles match with the world champion. Mm-hmm. How did that moment feel, getting a chance to actually have the pressure on you to be the spotlight, to be the headliner for a big pay-per-view? Because it was all out. It's not a small show for AEW. That's one of their biggest shows of the year. How did it feel to have that, like you said, be given the ball on such a big stage?
Yeah, dude. It's one of those things that still feels pretty surreal. I think growing up and dreaming of being a pro wrestler, that's the spot that you dream of being in. So I think it still feels pretty surreal. It definitely felt surreal leading up to it, but I thrive in that pressure and I thrive in that spotlight. I really do. I think as soon as I knew that was where we were headed, my entire life was blinders on. This is the only thing I'm focusing on. It's the only thing I want to focus on. I'm going to get in the best shape possible, the best mind frame possible, body in the best shape it's been. I just wanted to go into that and absolutely smash it out of the park. And again, I would like to think I did that, but yeah, it was very surreal. I mean, being in there with Hangman, man, he's one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever been in the ring with. He's awesome. His character work, his character arc has been incredible to watch, and then to also be a part of that. And yeah, it was very cool to be put in that spot, to be given that spot. And yeah, I just hope that I proved I'm worthy of it, and that the next time it comes around, I'll be trusted to do the same.
You mentioned getting in the best shape of your life. I got to ask, what's the routine? Because I could obviously use a little bit of work.
Yeah.
You have absolutely transformed your body over the last couple
man.
of years.
Yeah.
So what has that been like? What's the secret to Kyle Fletcher's body tips here?
Look, the one big piece of advice that I will give you is I hired a coach that does it all for me.
There you go.
I have a coach, Yeston Reese. He's been a lifesaver. He's changed my life in so many ways, with my life being as hectic as it is, with wrestling being as hectic as it is. The fact that I can just hand it over to someone else and say, tell me exactly what to do. Tell me what to eat. Tell me what to do in the gym. Tell me all of it, and I'll just do it. And then it makes my job simple, because all I got to do is go and do it. So
right.
that's been the biggest thing. It's absolutely changed my life, and falling in love with the gym and the process of it all. I think it's really shaped my mindset, and bringing that over into wrestling as well has really, I think, been part of the reason my career has kind of skyrocketed the way it has, because I have that just that determination and that love for the process and love for that journey and the growth that it brings. And then, yeah, just putting that into wrestling and working hard every single day until the wheels fall off.
So one of the things we kind of talked about a little bit last time I talked with you a year ago, but it feels like even more relevant now, dealing with those pressures, dealing with everything that's going on in your life, the chaos that is your life. So how are you coping with all the pressures, all the stresses that come with being not just now a rising star, but you are one of the stars of AEW?
Look, it's a very it's a hard thing to talk about just because I don't want to give this like false illusion that this is easy and it comes easy to me, because it really doesn't, man. Like, being 26 years old, this is all new to me, and it all still feels very new to me. And I'm really just trying to figure it out as I go, really, right? Like, so yeah, it's been my dream my whole life to be in this spot, and I'm so grateful to be in the position I am. But it is really hard. It consumes my entire life. I don't have time for a social life. I don't have time for other things. I go home and all I want to do is lay on the couch because I'm exhausted. I've been traveling. I've been wrestling. I have no sleep. I've been eating terribly because there's nothing to eat after I've finished wrestling. So it's like, it's all these things, and it's all very hard, and it becomes very overwhelming when you think about all the pressure that it brings as well as that. But all that is to say, I am living my dream right now. I would not have it any other way. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm not going to stop working as hard as I'm working because I love it, and I love the grind, and I love every single part of it.
You mentioned being only 26 years old. Recently, the list was put out of 30 under 30 in pro wrestling.
Yes, sir.
You were number 2 on that list. How does that make you feel to see that people in the industry and outside of the industry are viewing you as one of those top young stars that's the future of pro wrestling?
Yeah, I think it's a hard thing for me because it's so cool on one hand to be recognized. I just hate the way things like that are now kind of weaponized, if that makes sense, because it turns all it does, like, there's that moment of like, I see the list and I go, oh, that's pretty cool, I'm number 2, like, that's a pretty cool achievement. But then instantly I'm bombarded with like, Kyle Fletcher doesn't deserve to be this high, blah, 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 for this reason, blah, 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 blah. And then you get like 100 things saying that, and then you get 100 things being like, Kyle Fletcher should be number 1, this person should be so much lower, and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't want wrestling to become that. I don't think that's what wrestling should be. I think people have opinions, and people have different tastes, and that's great. That's what wrestling should be. You should love who you love, and hate who you hate, and that's fine. But I just hate when those kinds of things are used to further somebody's agenda. That's the only thing I hate about it. I think being recognized is super cool, and I mean, something like ESPN, that's awesome that they're recognizing me as one of the brightest young stars in wrestling, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's still not number 1. I'll say that much.
So, you mentioned different opinions, different styles, different tastes. I feel like that's one of the great things about AEW. To bring it all back around to tomorrow night at the Fishers Event Center.
Yes,
if you come to an AEW show, you're going to get a little bit of everything. You're not going to get just one style of what one person thinks is pro wrestling. AEW, you kind of get a smorgasbord. You get a little bit of everything when you come to an AEW show.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think that's part of what I love about it. I mean, I've been doing the news shows all morning, and that's kind of the biggest thing that I rave about with AEW. It's like, pro wrestling doesn't need to be done one way. It doesn't need to be by the book. The beauty of pro wrestling is that it can be anything, and it can be anybody's interpretation of what wrestling should be. And then also, fans aren't going to love all of it, but they will find one wrestler, one match, one thing, multiple things on a show that they love, and that's going to be different to the person sitting next to them. And that's what makes pro wrestling so beautiful, and that's what makes AEW so beautiful. It brings an Australian, someone from the UK, someone from Japan, someone from Mexico, like, and we put them in the same ring on the same night, and it's like, all those flavors of wrestling are going to be so different, but that's what's beautiful about it, because it's also different, and someone's going to love something and someone else isn't going to love something. And I just think, that's the beauty of pro wrestling, that it can be literally anything.
And the live AEW experience is so much fun. I've been to so many AEW shows now since you guys come to the Midwest, and I don't think I've had a single time where I've walked away like, man, I didn't have fun at that show at all.
Hell
Like
yeah.
AEW is just so much fun to watch and it's so much fun to be there live.
Hell yeah. Well, that makes me very happy to hear. I'm glad.
Yeah, you're obviously one of the best parts about that when I see an AEW live show.
Obviously.
I'm like, Kyle, yes, all right.
Obviously.
I was so excited when I saw you were going to be on the card for tomorrow night.
Hell yeah.
To wrap it up, to bring things kind of full circle for you, back home in Muncie, where this is airing, there's actually a wrestling school.
Okay.
In Muncie, and I'm sure some of those trainees and students are going to be watching this video or listening to
Cool.
the radio. And so, think back to young Kyle Fletcher when you were just starting out.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and give young Kyle Fletcher one piece of advice that current day Kyle Fletcher knows, what would you go back and tell your young self?
This is okay. So I'm gonna split it up into two parts because the first thing I'm gonna say isn't necessarily like it is advice, but it's not like a do this advice.
Right.
So the first thing I'm gonna say is just try and enjoy every single part of the journey. I know when I started at 14, I started training in a shed in someone's backyard. My first match was at a Easter church festival in the middle of like industrial warehouses, a random ring set up in the middle. No one there knew what wrestling was. That was where I had my first match. And it's like, at the time, it feels so like that's not the dream, right? Like that's not what I strive to do when I set out to be a pro wrestler. But I just wish when I was there, I could appreciate it for what it was. And I've had so many weird twists and turns along this journey and I spent it always chasing where I am now. Like I always wanted to end up where I am now, but I wish I just didn't. I wasn't thinking about that the whole time because I would have enjoyed it a lot more, I'm sure. And there's so many like, you just go, if you're just present for every part of it, the bigger opportunities will come eventually. And if you just treat everything that you're doing as the biggest deal in the world and like it's the coolest thing ever, and you treat it like that, other people will start to also see it and treat it like that. So just enjoy every single part of the journey, even if you're wrestling in front of nobody, even if you're training in a shed, even if you're sleeping on floors, like that's the beauty of it. And then when you end up somewhere like me, you'll be able to look back on it and be like, man, you'll tell those stories for the rest of your life. So that's kind of the first thing, because that's not really advice. Advice, I will say, treat every single person with kindness and respect, not out of I'll be nice to this person, so then maybe they'll be nice to me down the road and like give me something in return.
Right.
One of the biggest things in this industry is it really is like kind of word of mouth, right? Like if everyone you interact with and everyone you are able to work with has a good experience with you, that will travel around and other people will hear that. And everyone, if they have a good experience working with you, they'll say, if someone comes up to them and says, hey, I'm wrestling this person, have you heard of them? You've worked with them before? And they'll go, yep, worked with them, had a great experience, loved it. You'll have a great time too. And why would you want your reputation to be anything else but that? Because that's just, I don't know, why would you not want to spend kindness and positivity and whatever? It's not in order to get something in return. It's just, the world will be a better place if you just spread kindness. So
Absolutely.
That's my big piece of advice, along with my weird other long-winded piece of advice.
I feel like, though, that's a good note to end this interview on. Kyle Fletcher, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, man.
Likewise, man. Let's do it again next year.
I like it. Let's do it.